So the transport across the cellular membrane, and we are going to discuss the vesicular transport. As we know, the transport can be passive or active transport. Vesicular transport is type of the active transport, where small lipid-soluble substances move by simple diffusion, small polar molecules move by the facilitated diffusion, water moved by osmosis. Similarly, ions move by primary active transport, and ions and polar molecules move by the secondary active transport. Those large-sized molecules which cannot move across by the help of the carrier proteins, they have to take advantage of the vesicular transport to move across the cell membrane. For example, this video is showing you the endocytosis of this green substance across the cell membrane, which is large in size, incapable of moving across the carrier protein. So this is coming across the cell membrane at this side, attaching over here, and an endocytotic vesicle is being formed over here, which will then be pinched off. Endocytosis can be of phagocytosis, pinocytosis, or receptor-mediated endocytosis type. Here is an example of a bacterium which is being endocytosed, and here the endocytotic vesicle got pinched off inside. This was the example of phagocytosis. This is showing the engulfment of liquid, which is the example of the pinocytosis, and this is showing the receptor and substance coming and attaching to this receptor site on the cell membrane into the receptor-mediated endocytosis. Here you can appreciate the target molecule. It came attached to the receptor protein. Again, the endocytotic vesicles start becoming, and ultimately it will be pinched off. You can see under the cell membrane, glycerin protein is coating, which will ultimately form the coated pit, and this will be transformed into the endocytotic vesicle. So this is the example of the receptor-mediated endocytosis. Now the reverse of it, exocytosis, a secretory vesicle going to the cell membrane, fusing with it and releasing the content outside by the exocytosis. So exocytosis and endocytosis, where exocytosis can be of constitutive or non-constitutive type. I'll show you in a while. Cytosis, either pinocytosis, phagocytosis, or receptor-mediated endocytosis. We will discuss all these one by one in coming up slides. So exocytosis is the movement or migration of the vesicle to the membrane, fusion with it, and release of the content outside. The vesicle went, fused, and released. The function, for example, secretion of the products to the outside of the cell. For example, a hormone to be released outside, for example, by the pancreas, by the adrenaline gland. And number two, it also helps in addition of certain transmembrane proteins to the cell membrane. And exocytotic vesicle, it fuses with the cell membrane. It leaves the membranous content to the cell membrane, thus keeping the membrane proteins in the cell membrane. So every time exocytosis occurs, more content is added to the cell membrane, and this also helps in replenishment of the membrane proteins, including carrier proteins, channel proteins, and the receptor proteins. This is showing step-by-step exocytosis. This is showing migration. This is showing attachment, and this is showing the release. If we look into the types of exocytosis, it can be non-constitutive or constitutive pathway. As you can see in this image, this is showing the transfer of secretory vesicle processing into secretory granules and then the release outside. We call it either regulated or non-constitutive pathway. Whereas if it is released outside promptly without being processed or storage, we call it constitutive or non-regulated pathway. So this is showing the step-by-step exocytosis of the secretory vesicle starting from docking, which occurred after the migration of the vesicle. As we discussed in our session on cellular organelles, the V snare and T snare aspect, that each vesicle that is going to be exocytosed has a particular receptor protein on it, which helps in identification of where it is going to attach on its destination. So here you can see So here you can appreciate the vesicular membrane. It will have vesicular snare proteins in it, and at the site of cell membrane where there would be T snare in the cell membrane, there will be docking. Like we dock a ship on the harbor, this vesicle will be docked at the site of this T snare of the cell membrane. This is the first step, docking. The second step is the provision of energy. The provision of energy by ATP will prime it for exocytosis, and we call it priming. In the presence of calcium, which is the third important step, the exocytotic vesicle will fuse its membrane with the plasma membrane, and the fusion will release the content outside, which is known as fusion or exocytosis. So simply it's starting from docking, V snare, T snare, locked into the T, provision of energy to prime it, provision of calcium, and simply the fusion. For example, the release of a neurotransmitter acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction happens by these steps that we just discussed. The reversal of it, endocytosis, in it, a substance is taken into the cell from outside. As you can see over here, it attached over this receptor protein. Inside, it was coated by clethrine protein. It started invaginating, converting into an endocytotic vesicle, which was pinched off by the contractile proteins, including actin and myosin. And the endocytotic vesicle were released into the cytoplasm ultimately. If we look into the types, it has phagocytosis for cellular eating, pinocytosis for drinking, and receptor-mediated endocytosis for special ligand-based receptor internalization of vesicles. So starting from pinocytosis, steps are the same. The liquid molecules approaching the site of endocytosis, invagination of the cell membrane, pinching off and release. As exocytosis added to the cell membrane, endocytosis is taking away the cell membrane. So this is a continuous balance in between the exocytosis and endocytosis that is continuously happening across the cell, thus keeping the surface area of the cell membrane constant, not increasing or decreasing. Phagocytosis, the materials come into contact, invagination, there is pinching off, endocytotic vesicle forms. This is simply phagocytosis, for example, occurring in the neutrophils and macrophages for the bacteria. Receptor-mediated endocytosis, the only difference is involvement of the receptors. The substance will only attach to the receptor. Inside is coated by clethrine protein, which is helping in the invagination of the cell membrane, and pinching off again by the contractile proteins. The receptor-mediated endocytosis are further of three types, starting from the clethrine-mediated endocytosis. This is involved for the internalization of the receptors and ligands bound to them. For example, nerve growth factor, low-density lipoproteins are uptaken by the cells with the help of clethrine-mediated endocytosis. Rest is the same, occurs at the sites where clethrine is accumulated. Here, the pinching of protein is dynamin instead of the actin and myosin. Vesicles, when pinched off, will fuse with the endosome, and then it will further function with the lysosome. And this is showing the clethrine-mediated endocytosis step by step. This is clethrine. You can appreciate over here. This is clethrine-coated pit form. Dynamin helped in pinching off the vesicle, which was then fused with the endosome and then the lysosome. After the lysosomal break down, the clethrine protein and the receptor proteins, they are recycled back to the surface of the cell membrane. Next is the caveole dependent uptake. Caveole we discussed while discussing the lipid rafts in this session on the cell membrane. These caveole are cell membrane depressions, and they are having a rich cholesterol, sphingolipids, and special types of proteins. And these are particularly involved in the uptake of nutrients from the endothelial cells by receptor-mediated endocytosis pathway, and only occurring at the level of lipid rafts, which lead to precursor invaginations of the cell membrane called caveole. And these caveole are having caveolin protein instead of clethrine, and rest of the process is same: attachment to the receptor, invagination, and then pinching off by the dynamin protein, and the endocytotic vesicle is went into the cytoplasm. And the third type is non-Clathrin, non-caveolate dependent, which is having another category of proteins not specified in your textbooks. So pinocytosis for the uptake of small molecules or water across the blood vessels. Phagocytosis for internalization of large molecules, for example, bacteria by the macrophages. Receptor-mediated endocytosis, including uptake of LDL by the Clathrin-mediated, uptake of nutrients by the caveolate-mediated. Exocytosis can be by constitutive or non-constitutive pathway. For example, release of immunoglobulins from the plasma cells occurs without storage or processing. This is the constitutive pathway, whereas exocrine glands secretions gets stored and processed inside the secretory vesicles. So this is by the non-constitutive or regulated pathway. Lastly, we will discuss the transport across the cellular sheets, for example, occurring across the capillary wall and the renal and GIT tubules. Till now, we have discussed the transport across the cell membrane on one end. What if the substance has to cross the renal tubule? For example, this is the lumen of the tubule and it has to enter the interstitium. It has to first enter the renal tubular cell on one end and then exit the tubular cell on the other end to enter the interstitial fluid. So it has to cross the cell membrane first to enter and then to exit. This type of transport is known as bulk transport, and this is majorly governed by the pressure differences, as you will discuss in your cardiovascular module. Similarly, this happens at the level of capillary walls. The pressure differences, including the stalling forces and oncotic forces, govern the movement across the capillary membrane. And this type of movement in which the substance enters the endothelial cell on one end and exits on the other end, crosses both ends, is also known as transcytosis or cytopepsis. So that's all about the vesicular transport. Thank you very much.